Hey there, Balls Buddies. Welcome to Friday morning and Ask Andy, your opportunity to ask me my views on Crown Green Bowls, questions that you may not have been able to find the information about. I have my ways and means, and I know where some of the bodies are buried. So ask me anything. Get in touch with me via email, on Twitter, via this channel. Leave a comment below and I'll pick it up, or you can always find me on Facebook. Okay, normally I would do two questions for the Friday video, but I've been asked one and I'm going to have to shorten it anyway, but I still think I'm going to get a good 10 minutes out of it. Bob Horrocks, the guy that used to run the old Crompton's Comp back in the day, got in touch with me on Facebook, asking me why do we only have referees of a certain age and measures of a certain age and that sort of thing, and what my views are. And I mean, I think over the years I've been quite critical of most referees, and it's not, let me say, it's not the referees' fault that I'm critical of them. I think that they are being asked to do a job that they cannot physically do. So it's no wonder that players and officials alike get so wound up about them. To answer the first bit of the question about why are they all of a certain age, I think it's a fairly obvious answer, is that it's something that you end up doing when you can't seem to play just at the level you want to. You still want to be involved. I suppose it's a bit like football referees. They tell me that football referees were mostly good players that weren't just good enough and decided to go into refereeing. I would say it's something similar for Crown Green Bowls refs. I think there are one or two that go into it because it gives them a bit of a power trip, but I won't go too far down that road because it might be a bit libelous. Is it libel when you say it? Can't remember. Measures are the same. There's no reason why you have to be a referee to be a measurer. And if you went to the Murfield League, for instance, you'll see that most, all of the people that do the measuring are usually, my sort of age and below. Not for any particular reason, it's just that those are the people that are there. But you look at county games, it's always a referee plus two other referees to the measuring. It could be just a simple thing. Rather than saying you have to be a referee, just nominate somebody. Nominate one of the officials of the county, or somebody who's travelled with them, or somebody who's up to doing it. I mean, really, is it that difficult to measure? That's the question I have. We always see referees at big finals and county games, and if you think about it, if you've been to a lot of these things, how many times has a referee actually been needed to interpret the rules for the players or sort anything out? I can't think of many incidents since I've been playing the game at a decent level where we've actually needed a referee. What players at that level want is somebody who's a good judge and can tell you who's in, and who will stop a strike for you. Both things that apparently referees aren't supposed to do. It's not in their criteria. In the same period of time, I must have played thousands of league games, and there's been an incident in nearly every other game where a referee would have been really good to have been there and been able to sort something out. It's the thing, oh, he sent his ball out of turn, it's a dead ball. No, it's not. But you'll have a 20-minute argument about it until somebody finds an out-of-date rule book. So, for me, at top level, at the higher end of the game, you don't need people there to interpret the rules. You need a referee like you have on the panel, that you have in some events where they don't actually have a referee as such, and a qualified referee. They just have somebody there who will follow the game around, mark the card even, tell you who's in, stop a strike, job done. that's what the players want. And then you get to county games, and they're generally the same referees that referee county games. And from what I can gather, you've got to work your way up to this level, and it takes many years. So new referees that do come into the game are obviously are sometimes demotivated when they see how long it takes them to actually get an opportunity to referee at a game, any game, even a junior, ladies, whatever level. Um, and you almost know what's going to happen when you see the referee you have for the game, for that particular game. Some of them just stay out of the way, they walk round the green, they will tell you who's in, they will stop a strike, but they then make a rod for their own back by at the start of the game they'll get the players together and say nobody else is allowed on the green. So now you've got 4 games of bowls on the green, the referee will be wandering round, somebody in one corner will want to know who's in the other corner, somebody else will want a strike stopping, somebody else will want a measure, and all of a sudden situations that could be easily solved if you allowed players of each team to officiate on the green, say to stop a strike or to see who's in or whatever, you make the referee's life a lot easier. But they're not allowed to do that. They have to have total control of that green. And I can understand it in a way. I can also understand they've got to ensure the health and safety of players and spectators. But I've come across referees who are adamant they won't stop a strike for you, but yet you have to tell them that you're striking. Well, what's the point? Why not just have one of your players behind the end to stop the strike for you? He can tell the people behind him that you're going to strike. As a player, you know not to strike when there's people walking across you. It's not rocket science. Reminds me of a game I once played down in the old Stockport Parks competition. I think it was a 3rd round game, so it was to qualify. I was playing Andrew Sprague at a green in Stockport, maybe Holdsworth Park, something like that. And the thing about the greens in Stockport is an awful lot of the Parks greens don't have boards around the green. They have either nothing or walls or just rockeries or things like that. So I was losing to Andy Sprague by 18, 10, 11 down, and he's put 2 all over the jack. So there's a referee on the green. Ref, I'm striking. Yes, go ahead. And they run over and they stand behind the end, and I strike and I miss. And my ball is going straight towards the referee. And what does he do? He just watches it go past him. And it hits a rockery. And it goes down a path. And it hits another wall. And it goes down some stairs. And it's down by this hut where these steps led. And I looked at him, why didn't you stop it? And he just walked off. So I goes and gets my ball, and it was in such bad state, I needed to have it renovated, I needed it repolishing, and it was wrecked. Now, if he'd have said, I'm not going to stop it, I'm sure Andy Sprague would have stopped it, or one of the spectators would have stopped it. And certainly by letting the ball go, you definitely not ensuring any safety of spectators around the green. So that's one of the problems I have with referees. The main problem I have is, as I said on the intro, they're not able to do the job they've been asked to do. They are there to uphold the laws of the game. They've not got to wait for an objection from any of the players. If they see somebody doing something wrong, they need to sort it out. Okay? You've 4 games on the green and you've 1 referee. There's 4 people could send that ball or jack out at the same time. How can he see where their foot is on the mat? How can he see all 4 jacks come to a complete stop and then make sure that all 4 players are sending their balls after the jack stopped? You can't. Absolutely no chance whatsoever. It doesn't matter how good a referee you are. And there are a lot of good referees, don't get me wrong. But there's no way on earth, no matter how good you are, you can make sure that the rules, the laws of the game are upheld at all times with one referee on the green. Even with two referees, they couldn't do it. If you think about it logically, you'd need two referees per game. One at the mat end and one at the jack end. I feel sorry for them because referees are doing their best. They're doing their best, and yes, we do need somebody to arbitrate if there's an issue. My question is, do they have to be on the green? Do they have to be the only people who can go on the green? Why not have two refs like the British Parks used to have? They used to have one patrolling each half of the green. When it comes to measures, why just have one set of measures? Why not have a measure over in one half, a measure over in the other, and they get one of the players to go on with them, or somebody else? It doesn't. Why are we bogged down with having to have somebody in a blazer to go on and do the measuring? And what happens then? It's such a hard job, but they then pick on the easy things. So Gary Ellis, easy to spot Gary doing his little dance. Oh yes, I'll pull Gary Ellis up, make a name for myself as well. But at least, I've seen to have done something. And in some people, they will say quite rightly he should be pulled up, and other referees will say, oh no, it's fine. His foot's in contact with the mat when he lets go of the ball. Okay. And I saw a referee do that to Gary once in a county game, and Gary said, absolutely fine, no problem, but I want you to make sure that everybody else has their foot on the mat too. And he was quite right to do that. Absolutely right. Because he couldn't do it. It was impossible for him. He could not check that every ball sent by every player was done legally. When I was a junior, what's the easiest thing to do for a referee? Pull me up for running after a ball, because they can see me, they can hear me a lot of the time. So you end up just picking on the obvious things and letting some of the other things that are just as important in the game, they let them go because they cannot see them. I don't know what the answer is. I really don't. My view has always been you don't really need a referee at the top level. You need somebody who will act as a marker, measurer, something like that. The panel version of the referee is perfect for finals. County games, a bit different. Yeah, I do think you need somebody there to officiate. Whether they need to be on the green all the time is another matter for me. As long as they're watching the games, seeing what's going on, that's fine. I'll tell you another little story about a referee, well, two referees. We played a county game. I was playing for Greater Manchester at the time. Can't remember who it was. One of these Hitler types. He laid the law down about everything. We must have had, normally you have a couple of minutes before the game, you have a little meeting with the ref to tell you what they want. This went on for 10 minutes nearly, telling what you couldn't do. Not what you could do, just what you couldn't do. No running after the balls, no stamping, no nothing. Okay? And the game was played, and horrible atmosphere. Following game, we had a referee. He said, just go and enjoy yourself. So don't overstep the mark. If you want to stamp, because I don't think it makes any difference. And those were two referees, both top referees at the time. Both passed all the badges and everything that they could have done. One's opinion was stamping's bad, cannot do it. The other's was stamping up make a difference, off you go. So there you go. When it comes down to personal opinion on laws of the game, it gets a bit sticky. But I don't know what the way forward is. I really don't. And referees will argue with me till they're blue in the face, but I still stand by it. You cannot referee for, and in some cases at the Champ of Champs, 5 games on the green. You can't do it. It's impossible. And I'm yet to be convinced that it is possible. So So thanks for watching Ask Andy this Friday. Might be a bit of a boring one, but there's plenty. I was trying not to be too controversial. Like I say, I could have gone on for a lot longer, but I won't. Feel free to get in touch and ask any questions. I'll try and answer them over the course of the next several weeks. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You'll get notified of any new content. So all I say is enjoy the weekend, stay in, stay off the greens, stay safe, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for watching.